Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Purple Power Play. I'm Cody Bansomer.
And I'm Jacob Hughes. This week, we'll tell you where both the men and women's hoops teams are headed in the NCAA tournament, update you on the Batcats, and tell you why it's okay to jump out of an airplane.
But let's just get into it. Frank Martin's Cats headed into Kansas City as the 4th seed in the Big 12 tournament, where they would face the 5th-seeded Colorado Buffaloes. Where the Buffs winning previous 2 meetings against the Wildcats, and the third, K-State hoping to win. Yet that was not the case as Colorado beat KSU 87-75, sending the Cats home after only 1 game in the conference tournament. The Kansas Jayhawks ended up winning the Big 12 tournament over Texas 85-73. With the conference tournament now over, Jacob Poland and company had to wait until Sunday night at Colbert Hills to find out where they were headed. K-State has a tough neutral site game against the Aggies of Utah State. They are winners of the WAC Conference, holding a 30-3 record. But they are seeded 12th for a good reason. The 5th-seeded Kansas State Wildcats are winners of 6 of their last 8 ball games, including wins over KU, Missouri, and Texas. Minus a Buffalo thorn in their side, K-State is one of the hottest teams playing right now, with the way they have perfected their pinch post offense and dominated on the boards against their last 6 opponents they've beaten. Utah State will have a lot of fans, including superfan Wild Bill, who is known for dressing up as numerous characters, distracting opposing free throw shooters, which is the last thing K-State needs since they've struggled from the free throw line all season. A potential second-round matchup looms against the 4th-seeded Wisconsin Badgers, who are taking on the 13th-seeded Belmont Bruins. Wisconsin is the same team who knocked out K-State in the 08 season when the K-State Wildcats had freshmen Mike Beasley, Bill Walker, and Jacob Poland. So a very tough weekend ahead for the Wildcats. I predict K-State winning by 9 over Utah State by dominating the glass and winning the turnover and second chance points battle.
That is a good, bold prediction. But with a win, they could have a tough matchup against Bo Ryan's Wisconsin Badgers, led by point guard Jordan Taylor.
Yeah, they're a good squad, but I like K-State's chances.
The women of Bramlage also traveled to Kansas City last weekend as the 4th seed in the Big 12 tournament. The 4th-seeded Wildcats beat 5th-seeded Iowa State to advance to the semifinals, where they got beat down by Baylor 86-53. The Baylor Bears went on to win the conference tournament over Texas A&M 61-58. The Lady Cats finished the regular season 21-10 and are now headed back to the postseason. The Wildcat women's hoops teams received their 12th NCAA tournament berth, the 8th under Deb Patterson. K-State is an 8th seed in the Philadelphia region, and they will be playing 9th-seeded Purdue. The winner will likely face top-seeded UConn, who has won the last 2 national championships. The first and second rounds will be hosted by UConn in Storrs, Connecticut. The K-State hoops teams are one of 14 Division I schools with both their men and women's basketball teams in the NCAA tournament.
I like what Patterson has done this year, taking a team picked to finish 9th in the league into the top 4th finish. But if they can get past Purdue, they will have to face one of, if not the best teams in the country. But switching gears now to baseball, where the Batcats are 9-2 on the season, as they hosted the Blackbirds of Long Island. Last weekend was a very eventful one for K-State, and we're not talking about Fake Patty's Day, but rather the weekend baseball match where the Cats took on Long Island for a 4-game series and came out 2-2. Sunday's game was the Cats' last chance to improve their record, but instead they fell in a very close match to Long Island 6-5, taking the Cats down to an overall season record of 11-14, while boasting Long Island to a 5-6 season. Now Sunday was good going for the Cats until the 5th inning when Long Island broke the 5-5 tie and the Cats couldn't catch up, getting men on bases but never over the plate. One bright spot, though, was junior pitcher James Allen making his 6th appearance of this year, tossing 2 scoreless innings. Bright Hills Batcats are right on pace to make an NCAA tournament appearance so far this year.
Absolutely. Switching gears now, a sport or hobby many people might not know about or even be willing to try is skydiving. But there is a group on campus devoted to just that.
10,000 feet above the earth, K-Stater Paul Visser lets go and free falls, flipping and twisting as the wind rushes past. Visser is a member of Skydive K-State, the oldest collegiate parachuting club in the country. With 1,250 jumps, Visser is one of the club's many licensed skydivers who also teaches others how to skydive, training them through their first jump class to eventually come in for a soft landing. KSUPC tries to offer as many as 4 first jump classes per semester. The class consists of 4 hours in a classroom setting, followed by 2 hours at the drop zone. The basics of skydiving, introduction to equipment, as well as in-depth safety and emergency procedures are taught and reviewed over and over. The class relies on muscle memory for emergency procedures, so the class practice is allowed. Then at the drop zone, a couple final lessons are reviewed before first-time jumpers are put on a plane. Right after his first jump of the day, the president of KSU PC talked about his enjoyment in skydiving.
Some kind of combination of human flight, like this is the closest we can get to human flight, and kind of the freedom of it. You know, nothing else matters for a couple minutes. You know, it's still fun for us, you know, we still get a lot out of it, but we don't have that same adrenaline surge that you guys do right after your first jump. So it's really fun to, you know, to feel that energy and that vibe coming off of you guys.
After the 6 hours of training, the next thing I knew, it was my turn to jump. I shimmied out onto the strut of the plane, checked to my instructor for clearance, and begun my descent. The ride was peaceful, and skydiving is an adventure of a lifetime.
Let's go again. Better. Yeah, at least not constantly turning like a
PC website to learn about making your first jump.
And just a quick correction to make, I said K-State 11-14. What I really meant to say was 11-4. But now for the track and field for the men and women's team, they had a successful run at the NCAA tournament this past weekend in College Station, Texas. The men finished 18th overall, Part 2-3 Wildcats. Eric Kennard won all 5 competitions this season and broke a K-State school jump record of 7 feet and 7 3/4 inches. It was the 3rd highest jump in collegiate history. Mantis Silkoskis finished 7th in the heptathlon. He came into the final 3 events with a lead, but was overcome by the field. And Jeffrey Jolmis came into the meet ranked 6th in the 60-meter hurdles, which is exactly where he finished after tying his own school record of 7.72 seconds in the final. Jolmis is the first indoor All-American for K-State in the hurdles since Vance Rowland in 1975. The women finished 45th in the NCAA championships. The All-American transfer from UCLA, Ryan Crace, finished 6th in the NCAA championships in the women's pentathlon, close to her personal record in the first 4 events before her stellar 800-meter time, which helped her score 4,115 points. Her 800-meter time was a record of 2 minutes and 9 seconds and 67 1/100ths of a second. A very successful weekend all around for K-State sports, and, you know, I'd like to see more.
And hopefully another successful weekend as the hoop teams gear up for the NCAA tournament. Thanks for tuning in this week to Purple Power Play. I'm Jacob Hughes.
And I'm Cody Bansmer. We'll be back after spring break. Have a great one, everyone.